everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Scorebook Stories. I hope you all are having a wonderful day today. I hope you've had a wonderful week of baseball, consuming as much of it as you possibly can. And we are going to dive into this past week in the MLB. It was quite a week. Yesterday, especially. Oh my, it was absolutely insane. The Dodgers lose 16-0 to the Cubs. The White Sox walk it off against the Red Sox. Like, what is happening? I mean, it's it's still very early on it, but what a crazy day. Baseball fell upside down for a minute there. However, I mean, it is still April, May. Definitely are more of like a feeling out process. By the end of May, once we get into like June, July, you definitely know more of what your favorite team is going to end up having. And after the trade deadline, that's when the party really gets going here, things really start to heat up. But speaking of things heating up, we are going to talk a little bit about the World Baseball Classic. We have officially gotten the pools set up, and we know who's going to play who before we get into the playoff round of the World Baseball Classic. And Pool A is consistent of Puerto Rico, Cuba, Canada, Panama, and Colombia. My picks right now, based on knowing nothing about who is going to be on these teams, I'm picking Puerto Rico and Canada to come out of Pool A. Pool B is USA, Mexico, Italy, Great Britain, and Brazil. I'm going to take the United States and Mexico. Pool C is Japan, Australia, Korea, Czechia, or the Czech Republic, and Chinese Taipei. I think this is a tougher one, but it's probably going to end up being Japan and Korea. And Pool D is Venezuela, Dominican Republic, Netherlands, Israel, and Nicaragua. I'm going to pick Venezuela and the Dominican Republic to come out of Pool D. However, we do officially have the coaching staff for Team USA, and I think it looks pretty good. Mark DeRosa is going to be back. He's going to be the manager. His assistants are Freddie Gonzalez, Brian McCann, and Michael Young. Pitching coach is Andy Pettit. Hitting coach is Matt Holiday, excuse me. First base coach is George Lombard. Third base coach is Dino Ebel. Bench coach is Skip Shoemaker. And the bullpen coach is going to be David Ross. But just on the coaching staff alone, there is 110 seasons, 24 All-Star game appearances, 8,566 hits, and 11 World Series titles. This coaching staff knows how to win ball games. And listening to DeRosa talk about last year and discuss some of the feelings in the locker room amongst those guys, and just talking about last year's World Baseball, or not last year, talking about the last World Baseball Classic, it's just unbelievable. And I have very high expectations for this USA team going into the World Baseball Classic in 2026. I really think it's going to be a great time. And I think the USA might be able to get the job done and get a win at the WBC this upcoming season, depending on how they're able to put together their pitching, because pitching seemed to have been the problem for them. But it was such a special moment last time, seeing Shohei Ohtani close out the game against Mike Trout. Obviously, I wanted it to go Mike Trout's way, but it was still such a beautiful thing for the game of baseball. And that's what I really think the WBC is all about. Stay up to date on everything going on in the sports world by heading over to 7 Mountain Sports on Facebook, 7 Mountain Sports on X, on Instagram. We are on all of your favorite platforms, and you do not want to miss out on a single thing going on here at 7 Mountain Sports. We'll move over to the MLB news and what's been going down around the league. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He now owns the largest contract in Blue Jays history and is the third largest in baseball history at 14 years, $500 million. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. will be a Blue Jay until 2035, and he's going to be a UFA at the age of 41. he's a Blue Jay for life. I don't think Vladdy's going to end up playing after 41 at all. It is a pretty front-loaded deal, though. Vlad's going to make a little bit over 40 million in 2026, and his salary will decrease every single year until the end of his contract in 2039, where he will be making less than $30 million, which is that's still a lot of money for for a 40-year-old first baseman. But I mean, I think he's worth it. He's a solid ball player, and he is a huge part of that Blue Jays organization. Without Vladimir Guerrero Jr., I don't know what that organization might end up looking like. The Padres also are in a bit of a injury problem right now. Jake Cronenworth was placed on the 10-day injured list with a non-displaced right hip fracture that they initially thought was a bruise. The issue now is that they need to figure out who's going to be on the roster in his place. The team selected the contract of Tyler Wade and transferred right-hander Matt Waldron to the 60-day injured list. So now they're down a pitcher. They brought Wade in to take over the utility spot. I'm not sure who all on that roster is going to be moving around too much, but Tyler Wade can play pretty much anywhere. And is he great at the plate? No, he's not going to really make up for Jake Cronenworth's bat, but he will do well enough to make up for losing Jake Cronenworth in the infield for some duration of time. Also, Spencer Strider, he is looking to come back to Atlanta. It's going to be hard to convince anyone that he needs another rehab start. Strider, in his last rehab start, recorded 13 strikeouts and allowed just one run over 5 1/3 innings for the AAA team down in Norfolk last week. The Braves, he said that he exited with a 2-strike count when he reached his target 90 pitches. So they had him on a pitch count and they sat him down right after he got it. The Braves could activate Strider to pitch in Toronto or during the home series against the Twins that begins April 18th. I have not seen any word yet as to when we can expect to see Strider back in Atlanta. I am recording this on Sunday afternoon, so the announcement may have been made by the time this comes out. However, I have not seen anything yet of Strider's return to Atlanta. But I really think that when he comes back to Atlanta, it's going to help rejuvenate this roster. They are struggling mightily right now. I believe the Braves have won 4 games. As of recording, they are 4-10. It's not looking good for them right now, but April, like I said, is kind of a feeling out process. Can't really take anything too seriously in terms of production and like their place in the standings. Can't really tell a whole lot about how the year is going to go so far. But with Strider coming back, I definitely think that's going to help right the ship in Atlanta a little bit. It's definitely tough. Strider not being there, losing Jurickson Profar to that suspension. That's really difficult. There's a couple other things going on down in Atlanta that just aren't clicking right now. Will they make moves? Maybe once we get into June and July, we may see them do something to kind of turn this ship around and get themselves into playoff contention. But also, the Red Sox have added another catcher. They're bringing 2-time All-Star Yasmani Grandal. He is supposed to report to Triple-A, but they had to end up signing him because Connor Wong sustained a left pinky fracture, and he is going to be out for some time. So to add depth, they added Grandal to a minor league deal. Carlos Navarez is probably going to be getting most of the work, but Blake Sable is getting the call up from Triple-A. So I would expect Sable to work in a little bit, but Navarez is likely going to see a vast majority of the time in the major leagues right now. 7MM Sports is your hub for all things Seven Mountains Media sports. sports. You can watch the latest of Sports Talk with Steve Jones episodes. You can find what station you can listen to your favorite Penn State sports team on, and you can even get live social media updates all the time. All of these things are available along with every single show produced by 7 Mountain Sports over at 7mmsports.com. Looking around the league to see what is expected or what is coming up this week, the New York Yankees are kicking off a 3-game home set against the Royals before they head back to their spring training facility for an interdivisional matchup with the Tampa Bay Rays. I really think the Royals-Yankees series is going to be a solid series. It's going to be a lot of fun. And I think as long as the Yankees rotation can kind of figure things out, Max Fried is really the only starter right now who's pitching well. The rest of the rotation needs to get it together. I don't know what the Yankees need to do. I did a little bit of digging, and I think it probably would be a very good idea, as much as people may not like it. The Yankees need to go sign Trevor Bauer. Their pitching staff is struggling, and they need somebody who has been there, who has done that, and can handle pressure and can handle a large workload. There really is nobody else out there, and Trevor Bauer is actively pitching in Japan, and through 2 games he has a 1.6 ERA. So he's pitching pretty well. He still has got it. He has a little bit of heat. I think it's like a mid-90s fastball. He gets some pretty good break on his slider and his curveballs. His changeup's pretty good. His sinker dives very well. His splitter dives very well. I think it's a splitter or a sinker. It's one of those two. It has a pretty good break. Just falls right off the table. Very nice. I think that's what the Yankees need to do. They got to go find themselves a good, consistent starting pitcher, and there really isn't another option other than Trevor Bauer. And as much as people may not enjoy me saying that, I really don't care. I don't see there being any issue with Trevor Bauer. He is a consistent starter who's going to play great baseball for the Yankees or whoever ends up signing him. I think he's an MLB pitcher who is just kind of vibing and hanging out over in Japan right now. But besides that, I really wanted to talk about the Yankees, mainly because they are going to their spring training facility this week to play the Tampa Bay Rays. As you may know, the Rays stadium has been destroyed via hurricane. Those are apparently very frequent down in Tampa, Florida, or in Florida in general. But their stadium is not intact. It is completely torn apart. I feel bad that the stadium is torn apart. They were planning to make a new one. The new one now is canceled, and now there's renderings for a different one. I don't know what's going on with the Tampa Bay Rays in their stadium, but the Yankees' home spring training facility is Steinbrenner Field or Steinbrenner Stadium. So my question is, who's getting that home locker room? Are the Yankees going to be able to be in their locker room in their spring training facility, or are the Tampa Bay Rays going to be in the Yankees locker room in the Yankees facility? How is that going to work out? What's going to be the dynamic here? It's almost like you're letting one of your friends house sit, and like they're kind of just staying in your place, but like it's still your place, and it's a weird vibe. I don't know what the deal's gonna be here, but I'm looking forward to seeing that a little bit this upcoming week. Obviously, the Yankees are going to be the away team for that series, not the home team, but I don't know. I think it'd be fun to force the Yankees to go into the visiting locker room in their own stadium. I just think that's a bit odd. Another series to keep an eye on is the Braves and the Blue Jays. I think it's worth watching mainly because of the potential return of Spencer Strider. If he is able to get back into the rotation, it's going to turn the Braves around a little bit. It's going to bring them some new energy. It's going to get the hopes back up in that Atlanta Brave locker room, and hopefully they can work on replacing Jurickson Profar and not having to worry so much about the rotation and the bullpen. Also, the Athletics, the the baseball team Athletics. I don't know where they're from. It's weird not saying Oakland. The Oakland A's, like it just rolls off the tongue. It's weird that they're no longer there. But either way, the A's have a really good shot to gain some momentum early in the season with a sneaky good offense. And they are going into a set against the Chicago White Sox, who have not won a game since my last episode. Well, they've won 2 games now. Excuse me. Soderstrom is playing unreal. Wilson's playing great infield for them. They're both playing at very high levels, and I really think it's just a bunch of young guys right now over there in Oakland who are just having fun. Is this a championship winning formula? No, probably not. I do not think that we are in a world right now where the A's are on playoff watch. Like they're not that good. However, they have a sneaky offense that will take advantage of mistake pitches, unlike teams of A's past that we have seen recently. But they got the White Sox coming up, who are not good. And I think it could be a good spot for this A's organization and this A's team to put themselves on a track to have momentum and have a successful season in their eyes. Is it going to be playoff bound? No, I do not think the A's are anywhere close to a playoff team. I think that once we get into June, July, that is when we're going to start to see the true playoff teams start to step up and who they actually are. And the A's will not be one of them. And if they prove me wrong, great. Like that's how this kind of works. If they prove me wrong, they prove me wrong, and that's just going to be how it goes. I also another team that is not in my mind a playoff team and will not make the playoffs, but is hot right now, and that is the Los Angeles Angels. They are on fire, and they are actually in first place in the American League West right now. All of their pitchers in the rotation look good. Most importantly, Mike Trout is hitting bombs again. He looks healthy. He does look a little uncomfortable in right field right now, but it's Mike Trout. He's gonna get it. He's going to be fine. There's no need to worry about Mike Trout. He's hitting bombs. He's looking healthy. He's looking strong. The Angels are getting ready to kick off a very important series, though. They're going to be taking on the Texas Rangers, who are neck and neck with them in the standings. They are 1-2. The Rangers are half a game behind. So I think that if the Angels are able to get past this Rangers rotation, which, by the way, is rocking. That is not a play on one of their pitchers whose last name is Rocker. They are cooking. I really do like this Rangers rotation. They look great. And whichever one of these two teams is able to nail down 2 of 3 is going to put themselves in pretty good shape when it comes to momentum moving forward, or the little mind games that these players play with each other when they meet up again at the other team's stadium. I think it's going to be a good series to watch. So if you're able to watch any of those, highly recommend you tune in, especially to the Angels and the A's, because right now they are a lot of fun to watch, even though the A's are last in the AL West, but the Angels are first. The Angels are in first place, followed by the Rangers, Mariners, Astros, and obviously the A's round out the AL West. In the Central, the Tigers are number 1, followed by the Guardians, Royals, White Sox, and the Twins, who look rough right now. Over in the East, we have the Yankees, the Blue Jays, the Red Sox, the Rays, and the Orioles rounding it out. Right now, I think the Yankees, if they can get their pitching put together, they're probably going to be in a spot where they can kind of start to pull away coming up here, probably towards the end of May, looking at their full schedule. Then we move over to the National League, where the Mets are in first place, Well, technically, they're tied with the Phillies, both 9-5 as of recording. The Marlins are 7-7 at third. Nationals, followed by the Braves at the bottom of the AL East. Over in the Centrals, the Cubs, Brewers, Reds, Cardinals, and Pirates rounding out the bottom. And over in the West, the Padres are on fire. They're one of the hottest teams in baseball right now at 12-3. Following them is the Giants, the Dodgers, the Diamondbacks, and the Rockies. The Rockies look terrible. I'm surprised that the Dodgers are not in first. Obviously, it is still very, very early in the season, but like the Dodgers to me were built to be a team that is going to take first place on opening day and never move. That's how they were built. So I honestly think that even if they go on to win the World Series this year, I think there will be some level of disappointment should the Dodgers not win the National League West. If the Dodgers end up coming in second, or if if they become a wild card team, if they don't win the NL West, I think at on some level it is a disappointment of a season. This team is not built for second place. They are built for first place, championship teams, number one seed into the playoffs. That's how this team is built, and that's what is expected of them to do. Don't know what they're doing. Obviously, they're going to have some bad days. Like, it's fine. It's all good. And even their loss against the Cubs 16-0, it wasn't on the starting pitching. It was on the bullpen. The bullpen fell apart. And then they had Rojas come in, who's an infielder, and he let up 5 earned runs. Like, it's the bullpen. It's not on the starters. And this lineup needs to get runs on the board. They're very capable of doing it. They're expected to do it night in and night out. And this team is built to win. If the Dodgers can't figure it out, then they could put themselves in a lot of trouble because they have a lot of really, really expensive players to lose ball games. It's 62 game season. They're not going to win every one. I understand that. But with this team, losing 16-0 to the Cubs is not okay. Then we get into looking at some of our stat leaders here before we head on out of here. We have George Springer on top of the batting average right now with 400. He's hitting 400. There's a couple other guys hitting well over 350. Jacob Wilson, Kyber Ruiz, Kyle Farmer, and Jonathan Aranda. They are all well over 350. Leading in hits is Kyle Tucker, Jackson Chourio, Jacob Wilson, Brendan Donovan, Bryce Terang, and Bo Bichette. 20, 21, and 22, all of them. Home runs. There are several guys tied at 6 leading the MLB in home runs. Tommy Edman, Wilmer Flores, Mike Trout, Aaron Judge, Kyle Schwarber, and Tyler Soderstrom. I really like Tyler Soderstrom. I think he's such a good ball player, and I think he probably should have made it to the MLB sooner than he did. I believe he started as a catcher. I could be totally wrong, but I believe Tyler Soderstrom was a catcher all through the minors, and now he's playing first base. Which, I mean, sometimes you're going to have to make a position change like that to get yourself onto the MLB roster. And if Soderstrom's been grinding first base in the minors as well as catching, now you have another option at the catching position should you need it. Then we move over to pitching, which pitching ERA stuff right now is a little weird because we're still so early into the season. But like we have a number of guys that are under a 1 ERA through 1 or 2 starts. So as we get further into the season, we'll get a better picture of ERA and what guys are really hurling the ball well right now. Leading in strikeouts is Yamamoto, followed by Logan Gilbert, Mackenzie Gore, Zach Wheeler, and Jesus Luzardo. Gilbert, Gore, Wheeler, and Luzardo all have 25, and Yamamoto has 28. When it comes to relievers, saves, Robert Suarez has 7, Kyle Finnegan has 5, Luke Jackson has 5, Andres Munoz has 5 as well, and there are a number of ball players who have 4 saves as of now in this season. It's still really young. There's a lot going on, and I could not be more excited for this Rays Yankees series in Tampa. Just because it's at the Yankees spring training facility. It's just funny to me. I think it's a lot of fun, and it's going to be a really good time. But like I said, we are in a spot right now in the season where we're still kind of feeling each other out, right? We don't really know who is going to be the top contenders. The Padres could definitely be a team that falls off the face of the earth after the month of May and they don't make the playoffs. Yes, right now they're 12-3. They're hot as can be, and they are clicking on all cylinders. However, it's a long season and things can change. So make sure that you come back every single week right here on Scorebook Stories to stay up to date with how the MLB season is moving right along. And don't forget to subscribe to the Seven Mountain Sports YouTube channel and follow Seven Mountain Sports on Facebook, X, Instagram, all that good stuff, so you never miss a Scorebook Stories update.